Uganda was amazing. So I decided that as we've got the World Championships this year, it'd be a great opportunity to get starting training on some warm weather really early on. So I flew out for New Year on the White Nile and just kayaked for the full, I think we were out there 5 weeks, kayaking twice a day, every day, on some of the best waves in the world. It was brilliant.
Hey, but a lot of people go there. What makes it so special?
I think part of what makes it so special is the fact that it's warm. So it kind of hits the main freestyle winter season, like worldwide. So everybody congregates to this warm destination. That combined with the fact that the White Nile has just got some amazing waves. Like the way that the river falls back on itself in a couple of particular rapids just create these perfect freestyle waves. And you're surrounded by Africa and in the sunshine, in the boiling hot weather, and it's just really, it's perfect as a training venue. It's almost like a kayaker's resort. So you stay at the campsite, the Hairy Lemon, this campsite on an island, 20 minutes paddle away from two of the best waves in the world, and you wake up, you go kayaking, you go back, you get lunch put on by the island. In the afternoon, you go kayaking, you come back, dinner's done, and you just hang out, edit videos, and just have a chance to really kind of hone and develop your skills without having to worry about logistics or any other issues at all. It's just like the perfect training ground.
Wow, sounds fantastic. Hey, but then from Uganda to New Zealand and Australia, what brought you here?
The weather. I'm chasing the sun at the moment, so that's really that's what this year's training's been all about. Sometimes it's a little bit harder back home to get motivated through the winter season when it's really cold, when you're kind of paddling in floodwater constantly. And this year, for the first year, I've got pre-selected for the World Championships, so it means I'm not having to be at home through our winter training for our selection events. Instead, I have this opportunity to actually be on the road, following the sunshine and checking out some of the other incredible world freestyle destinations. So I've had an amazing start to the year, and to go from, I think I had 2 days back home between Africa and arriving in New Zealand, and then just come straight from New Zealand to here, and I'll go home from here and go straight into the European Cup out in Plattling. So it's all fitting perfectly, and it's the perfect start to a training for the World Champs.
Yeah. Hey, and well, in New Zealand, I'm sure you've done the Kaituna.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that river and the features and?
The Kaituna's it's a difficult river to describe because it's so unique, it's so beautiful. People had said it was amazing, and then you get out there and there's something magical about it. It's just this incredible gorge with amazing white water, a lot smaller than I expected coming from the White Nile where it's massive volume. Suddenly the Kaituna's a lot smaller volume, but it's got these perfect rapids, waterfalls, and then a really cool playboating spot just at the bottom, just where you take out above the final Class 5 rapid. And it was, we based there for a couple of weeks, just training 2 or 3 times a day, and it's an unbelievable.
Yeah. Hey, but there are a few big drops. Like for example, to start with the powerhouse, and then you've got the main one. How is that in a freestyle mode?
The powerhouse was brilliant. That went great. Just got some sweet boosts and went down, and then I epically fell off the main fall 3 times in the playboat. The water levels was quite low, and it definitely made it more of an interesting, fun line as you're trying to hit your flare off that right hand wall in a boat that's less than 2 meters long. It definitely adds to the challenge of creaking when you're in a playboat, for sure.
Hey, and then from New Zealand here to an artificial course in Penrith. How is this course? Is it exciting, or is it a bit artificial, or what do you think?
Well, usually the transition from natural rivers to an artificial course is horrible. You turn up and you're suddenly at a ditch and it's all man-made. So it was a nice surprise when I arrived here, and it's actually still got it's got the country feel, it's got the wild feel to it. Okay, it's all man-made, it's all concrete once you're on there, and there's plastic bollards everywhere and inflatable rafts, but the scenery around the mountains, the fact that, well, today it's not, but the rest of the time it's been sunny every single day, has kind of helped the transition a little bit more. Plus it's got some great features. That's one of the biggest advantages to the artificial courses, is the fact that they can create consistent, reliable features, and that for freestyle training is worth a lot. Having a feature that you can turn up every day and just kind of keep practicing, developing your skills on, is like, it makes a big difference, especially in the lead up to big events.
Yeah. And just in general, what do you think of Australia? Because the British and the Australians, they have a kind of bond, I guess. The Australians, when they go to Europe, they well, 99% they start in London,
Yeah.
and also the British, they tend to like it here in Australia. So what is your impression of the country and the people?
Lovely. Like, I love Australia. I've only been here 2 weeks and kind of based out of Sydney in the Olympic Park area, but it's so welcoming a country. Everybody's so friendly. It reminds me a little bit of America in some of this kind of the setup as you're driving around the place, and then you've got like elements that remind me of back home, but yet it's Australia. It's got kind of like palm trees around and 30-degree plus weather, and yeah, it's a great place to come because it is so easy just to transition into the culture and into the environment, and everybody I've met so far has been really welcoming and friendly and kind of welcome me in, which makes a big difference. It kind of feels like home for the time that I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, and on one hand, it must feel a bit like a holiday, I guess.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's pretty serious stuff, I guess, because well, you want to defend your titles this year. So what else is going to happen this year on the road to the World in September?
Well, I guess my life at the moment is almost a big holiday, but like you say, it's not, because it is focused. It is all training. I haven't made it to the beaches here yet. I've been to the course every day and been on the water doing publicity stuff, doing websites, blogs, videos. So there's kind of that whole element that goes alongside training and being on the road full time. But I'm really fortunate that the adventures don't stop here. I've just had the most incredible start to the year, and this is only the beginning. Like, next up I'm heading back to Europe and then back to the UK to train at Nottingham, because it's just such a good artificial like training venue that I'm going to go home, work with my coach for a little bit, and then from there I'm going straight out to the States to start training for the Worlds. So although the Worlds is still, I think, 5 months away, in reality that's not a lot of time at all. Like, you can almost write off the month directly before, because the training needs to already be completed by then. Like, I need to have my skills ready, and it'll just be kind of keeping it all ticking over, ready for the main event. So these next 4 months now are going to be absolutely crucial in terms of my lead up and development. So I am living this amazing holiday, like dream life, but it is very, very focused, and there's a lot of direction into what I'm doing each day, and reasons for what's happening within my kind of daily routine and schedules. I'm just very lucky that I'm getting to do it in some amazing places all around the world.
And the feature that wave in Nantahala, in freestyle, does there exist something like home advantage?
Yeah, definitely. The Americans are there right now. They've got their selections on that feature on the World's venue as it exists at the moment. They've got their selections there in a week's time. So they've been already training for 2 or 3 months, some of them, on the feature that the World is going to be held on. So that's going to give them a massive advantage. So key for me personally is to get out there as early as I can, so I can kind of become almost a local and get my equivalent of that home advantage. And for some of the smaller events, it's more difficult to do. You turn up the day before and you've got to quickly adapt. But for some of the major events, when you know exactly where it's going to be, what it's going to be like, then having the opportunity to get there early, get training and get to know that feature makes a huge difference.
Hey, and with the women, who do you think will be your main competitors?
Well, this is going to be an exciting year. It's going to be, I think, potentially a bit of a change to the usual system, because Emily's pregnant at the moment. She's usually the strongest, my strongest competitor out there, but she's planning on being back in the water, so there's no ruling her out in any way or sense or form. She's going to be back. She's going to be strong. Ruth's still training super hard. She's a very, very strong paddler, a very experienced competitor. I'm looking forward to seeing how she comes together in terms for this event, because she'll be spending a lot of time at the feature as well. She'll have that home advantage. Okay, she's paddling for Canada, but she's actually based in America, so she's got a lot going on. And then I think what'll be exciting as well going forward this year is that there'll be a really strong European contingent. And also from Japan, there's a few really. There's
Oh,
a couple of girls who came to last year's World Cups as their first major international event from Japan, and it was just like, wow, okay, here's some serious talent. So I think it's going to be quite diverse. Nina's working really hard. She's getting stronger every day. We've got Marlene, who won the Europeans last year. So I think there's going to be a big field of serious contenders for those top 5 positions, and for the top 3, it's going to be a real battle. So that's why training for me right now is so important. So I can try and just stay at the top and be in a really good position to go out and battle as best I can and hopefully defend the titles.
yeah. Well, what do you think is going to make the difference in the women's category? Yeah, well, what I see in the men, it becomes much more, I would say, almost aggressive.
Yeah.
If you see Keane pedaling, he puts a lot of aggressiveness in his moves and speed and
Yeah.
moves maybe backwards we haven't seen yet. How does that work for the women? What will make the difference, you think?
I think it's going to be a little bit of aggression, a lot about perfection, making sure that like when we lay their moves down, we need them to be absolutely perfect, because we tend to do them a little bit slower between moves than the men do. So we've really got to make sure the judges are watching, they're looking to make sure that it is absolutely spot on. So making them as perfect as possible. But then I think the big thing for us as well is we're going to have to start speeding up our links, speeding up the number of moves that we can fit into that 45 seconds, and that's going to be key. And making sure that we retain in the feature, we stay in the feature. And the standard last year already from the World Championships 2 years ago to the World Cup last year, it suddenly jumped this whole level again. So we're no longer doing just the base moves, the basic moves. We're already opening this scale where you have to be doing the harder moves on the score sheet, and you have to be doing them left and right, which is going to be key as well this year. And I think stepping forwards now, it's how fast you can link them and how perfectly you can perform them, so that you guarantee your points and that you make sure that you're getting exactly what you need, because the standard is going to be high. It's going to be really high. It's going to be exciting. We keep closing the gap on the guys, and they keep making it even wider. So I'm not sure we'll ever catch them, but it's impressive seeing what the lads can do, and then that sets us the challenge of saying, okay, right, well, let's chase them. Let's get raise our bar to try and get somewhere close.
Yeah. And last year at the Olympic Games, you demonstrated the sport of freestyle, Lee Valley. Did you get afterwards? Did you get any feedback, or did you think it has brought the sport something? Did it bring you something? What was the impact, or what went post that demonstration?
Well, having the opportunity to do the Olympic freestyle showcase last year was absolutely huge in terms of getting the sport out there, in terms of the sport taking it a step forwards, because the Olympics has been talked about alongside freestyle for a long time, and a lot of changes have happened to try and create this opportunity. So for it suddenly to actually have happened, and for us to have been invited along and being able to showcase, that's like a huge step forwards. It's a huge stepping stone, and to have been part of that, like I think back on it now and it's almost like it never happened. It just seems like a dream. It was surreal that we were there, and I now have one of the first freestyle Olympic bibs that have ever been, like things like that, and the medal to say that I was part of that experience. So yeah, it was just a huge opportunity, and like to be able to, for years when people have said, oh, you do freestyle, brilliant, you compete for the national team, brilliant, you're world champion, fantastic, so you're at the Olympics, and you're like, oh no. And then suddenly now we can actually say, yeah, we were at the Olympics, we weren't competing in a full sport, like we weren't competing for Olympic medals as such, but we were there and we were showcasing. And over that week our sport got seen by, I think there was 12,000 people at the course each day, not including the working teams and staff that saw it as well. So we were showcasing live to thousands and thousands of people. I heard feedback that there was young kids who had been there for the day watching the slalom, and they'd made their parents stay for the very end because they wanted to watch the trick kayaks, they wanted to see the freestyle. And that's what it's all about. It's showcasing this other element of the sport, this exciting fun. Not that slalom isn't that in any way sense at all, but it's showcasing to the young generation, or just paddlers, or the general population on the whole, this whole new sport that's out there that they can go and take part in and try out and get involved. So I think from that sense, the Olympics was absolutely huge, and all the feedback that we had back from it was great. Like the people were amazed to see what we do, because quite often we're doing it at like water courses, kind of away from the cities, away from the media, And suddenly when somebody who's never seen freestyle kayaking before sees a kayak fly through the air and do a somersault, they're like, okay, yeah, we want to. What is going on? We want to see this, and that's and that came about from the Olympics, and hopefully as time pushes on, the publicity and that kind of that stepping stone it's given us and platform will help us be able to promote it further and open it up as a sport to more of the population, hopefully inspire new paddlers to get involved.
And a year like this year, 2013, which includes a World Championship. What do you normally look most forward to? Is it just the whole year of, where you start, you paddle in Uganda, New Zealand, and you have Euros, and so is it more the whole year you enjoy and you look forward to, or could it be a specific event like the World Championship where it gets really exciting and the going gets tough, I guess, and you have to defend the title. So which is it? One specific event or a year?
I think I'd have to say it's a combination of the both, really, because I'd be lying to say that I'm not looking forward to and enjoying every minute of being on the road and getting to paddle in these amazing places, because this is what drew me to the sport initially, was the fact that you can just get out and travel the world with doing what you love, like sporting wise. But I'm a very competitive person, so the idea that I have this goal now of the World Championships, I have a number of moves in the back of my mind that I would really like to be able to kind of tick off the list of things that I can perform during a competition, and I have that in terms of like not necessarily in terms of the medals. I would love to go back and defend my titles. That's my goal. That's what I'm gonna ultimately go and try and do is go out there and try and perform my best on the day and try and re-win the golds, But more than that, for me, it's about the fact that I want to be able to go out and really perform. I want to go out there and lay down some hugely strong rides of some of my new tricks and lay them consistently throughout the rounds. And if that puts me top, brilliant. But if it doesn't and somebody else manages to perform even better, then fantastic. Well played to them. But it's that challenge that I'm setting myself. That's what I'm excited for. Is that I now have this date. I have this deadline on my training, and it's can I get as good as I'd like to be by that stage, and luckily the process of getting to that point is pretty awesome, because it involves paddling wonderful places with amazing people. And it's all exciting.
Well, Claire, I'm looking forward to see you competing there, including the other girls and the boys. So good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks, Rob.